When I say the phrases acceptance rate and completion rate, chances are pretty good that you know there's a difference. But are new drivers going to know that? In my 4 years of driving, I've talked with several drivers who had no idea that they could hit a 0% acceptance rate and not get deactivated. So, what you're about to see could certainly be confusing. Last night, I was procrastinating and I was surfing Reddit. I stumbled across a post that had me do a double take. This was that post. Now, it's not the 1% acceptance rate that caught my eye, although I do find that very respectable. This driver clearly knows their worth. It was the fact that we're looking at the acceptance rate screen, but yet there's text on there talking about a 90% requirement. See where I'm going with this? Now, in all fairness, it does say that your completion rate is below the 90% threshold, but it's the fact that it's on the acceptance rate screen that I have a problem with. Why is it there? And more importantly, what does the completion rate screen look like? I reached out to the original poster and asked them a few questions, and they were kind enough to let me use the screenshots you're seeing in this video. A big thank you and shout out to Frying Pans. I'll leave a link to the Reddit post in the description. Here's what the completion rate screen looks like. It looks pretty normal to me with the exception of one thing. This driver's completion rate is not below the 90% threshold that they were just chastised for. It's at a very healthy 99%, so what the hell, DoorDash? With that out of the way, the completion rate screen looks completely normal. But why isn't the passive-aggressive message on the correct screen? Before I give you my thoughts, I'd like you to pause the video and give your thoughts in the comments. I honestly don't know if this was an honest mistake or if it was a manipulation tactic. But if it was an honest mistake, it was a pretty big mistake. In my opinion, DoorDash has a very long history of trying to trick and manipulate drivers into accepting more orders, and you can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't dash now unless you're at 70%. You don't see upfront tips on earn by time, and now they're doubling down on the driver tier program, which pays us a grand total of $0 extra. All of these things were designed to get drivers to accept more orders. When was the last time DoorDash paid drivers more? Don't worry. I'll wait. It doesn't happen. What does happen is they lower our pay, and then they play these games to get orders delivered. Do I think the placement of this message was a mistake? My honest opinion is probably not. I think it was probably a decision that was made to fearmonger and mislead drivers. Now, of course, I always aim to be transparent, so there is one more piece of information that I feel it pertinent to share, and I'm curious to know if it changes your perspective. In talking to the original poster, I asked 2 questions. Is that message still there, and what does the completion rate screen look like now? We've already taken a look at the completion rate screen, so let's address my other question. According to the original poster, the passive-aggressive message stayed on their acceptance rate screen for about 36 hours after they initially noticed it. However, they did tell me that they believe it was there at least a few days prior to them noticing it. Alright guys, listen. I don't want to automatically assume the worst out of anybody or anything, but when it comes to this company, they have a long history of tricking drivers. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I realize that almost all of you have a much higher acceptance rate than I do, but I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that a low acceptance rate will not get you deactivated. I can only reach so many drivers. It's not like DoorDash is going to email my videos out to every active driver on the platform. They don't like what I have to say, and I know that for a fact, but that's a subject for a different video. Take the time to talk to other drivers in your market when you're waiting around for orders. Tell them that their acceptance rate won't get them deactivated and they aren't required to take out the trash. Imagine what would happen if all drivers everywhere stopped taking crap orders. They'd have to pay us fairly. The final point I want to make is never assume that changes are good for the driver, because when it comes to DoorDash, they almost never are. This is a company you should view with skepticism. I'm not saying don't do DoorDash. I'm saying educate yourself and anybody else who will listen, and don't get walked on in the process. Play the game your way, not their way. Before we wrap up, I don't do channel memberships, Patreon, or anything like it. So, if you would like to support the channel, a like and subscribe would be awesome. Also, I have various affiliate links in the description for various products and services that I personally use that make my life easier. I think that could help you too. Check out Fetch in the description. That's my newest obsession. Well guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, a big thank you to Frying Pans for letting me cover the subject. My name is Zach. Take care.